The reptilian beings of the Draco constellation have put an intense amount of pressure on our world, forcing us to dissect the fundamental parts of our psyche, and actually, through such oppositional force, have catalyzed the greatest amount of expansion that humanity has ever realized. A greater awakening only happens from the deepest level of awareness, expanding that tension between the unconscious and the conscious until the point it eventually breaks. Humanity as a whole, I believe, has finally reached its breaking point. If you are unaware of who the reptilian beings are, you can watch the video up here all about Draconian Starseeds to learn more about who they are and to know if you yourself are a Draconian Starseed, therefore a descendant of these beings. In this video, we're going to talk more about the consciousness of Draco as it relates to the purpose of the evolution of human consciousness. And at the end of the video, we're going to talk about your unique starseed mission as a Draconian being. So if you feel connected to this frequency, definitely stay through all the way until the end of the video. As always, I'm so excited to bring to you another channeled message and way to access your cosmic connection as a high vibrating spiritual being on this planet. Speaking of channeled messages, I did channel a poem from the constellation Draco, and it goes like this: out of the body and out of the mind, into the spirit for the rest of time, a realm beyond where emotions yearn to be fully embodied inward and out, sweat of fear and flames of fixation burn. Draco, although not being so high vibrational as to be of the 12th dimension of Lyra, but instead exists at the 11th, has an incredible amount of intelligence. The reptilian beings, the beings that come from the constellation of Draco, take pleasure in a sort of higher octave of being in the flesh, driven by desire and this need to survive, yet exist in a timeless space that ventures very far beyond the physical plane. However, there still exists this urge to destroy and recreate, to build in its own image. Unfortunately, this has caused great distress between the two warring nations of the Draco-Lyran War, which I talk more about in my Lyran Starseed video. This war was brought about by Draco's lack of resources and became excessively violent. Their need for control was incessant. Lyra, of course, existed in this very peaceful, high vibrational energy and did not have the proper tools to fight back. Now, what we can understand from these two opposing forces, these warring nations in our galaxy, is the consciousness of two opposing forces. This split in consciousness from oneness and pure connection within the body, which was pure energy, and without experiencing the energy of all that was around us, right? That is what it is to be a light being. Those who believe they are light workers, if you are a starseed, you probably have this remembrance as well of existing in this energetic state of being. This split in consciousness caused such deep experience, the human experience, that we are all understanding through being. This, DNA manipulation, this need for control over humanity to harness energy and power and resources has created an incredibly painful existence. And we have learned through this experience how painful it is to exist without compassion and love for another being. And it is through the conscious awareness of compassion and love that we can begin to once more resonate on the frequency of light and heal the damage that has been done through the creation of this current reality. It is commonly understood, right, throughout this New Age understanding of starseeds, that Draco and the reptilian beings are so intelligent that they have the ability to shapeshift and have infiltrated, right, the deep state in order to gain enough control to manipulate the masses, amassing among us as an active force against high vibrational states of being, causing havoc and chaos where they go, and are known to be a force of evil. This is definitely, not far from the truth of what the Draconian frequency has done to manipulate Earth. However, through a more conscious understanding, we can see that this is only one part of the story, that there is actually a lot to discover through the awareness of opposing equal forces. We learned what our values are and what is truly important, what it is to fight for what we believe. We learned the incredible power of a belief, of a dream, of our thoughts, and the capability that we have to create the world that we want to see. So to connect to constellation Draco is to balance, in a sense, the light and dark forces within you. So here's how you can connect to the Draconian frequency, in a sense, opening portals to this constellation. Number one is through repetitive chants. Low rhythmic hums in particular is something that came through very strongly when I was envisioning Draco, okay? Number two is through the concept of tribalism. So through group mind and, entering into this sort of united force through a larger idea, becoming a united force through community in service to something higher, to survival, but also well-being of the community, to others. There is something that is shamanistic about the Draco constellation, in a sense that through, the deepest, sort of darkest parts of consciousness, that we become even stronger, or it is through the learning of such deep awareness that we come to a greater understanding, and a larger awakening is able to happen. More information is able to be gathered. So, like a shaman, like a healer, there is this purging that humanity has been able to take part in through such intense separation. The consciousness of separation has become so strong within humanity. Instead of focusing on that which unifies and unites and makes us the same, there's this really intense consciousness of focusing on everything that another person is not from you, right? We are now purging this demonic force, okay? Both on the astral and ancestral planes of humanity. You and me together with the Draconian frequency. This is a new paradigm that we are entering. Number three is healing influences. So we have to be unafraid to go into the pain. We have to be unafraid to also experience the fullness of gratification, and also to explore truly the realms of our consciousness through shadow work. And by really and truly diving fully into all that our emotions have to offer us. This is 5D consciousness, the fourth way that you can connect to the Draco constellation to empower your mission as a Draconian Starseed yourself is through shape-shifting. Draconian beings have the ability to transform their energy into other beings, human beings. So it is through the concept of transformation that you can enter the Draco constellation. It is through the energy of bending raw matter to your will, accessing a genius-like mental capacity that you can connect to Draco. So, through symbols of transformation, like the moth, the butterfly, the snake, but also through the energetic force of your thought. So, by thinking, that is what your reality becomes. We have to shift our mental world in order to shift our emotional world so that we can clearly manifest, which is why chakra clearing is so important, which I talked about in my past few videos. And finally, the fifth way that you can connect to Draco is through the dragon frequency. At the time of my filming this, it is the year of the dragon in the Chinese New Year. But anyway, it is said that the dragon is the most elevated state of the Draco frequency that you can embody. And dragons are this warrior spirit. They are connected to all of the elements and represent an energetic balance, the balance of forces. They are a great force. So whenever you need to empower yourself, you can connect to this frequency of the dragons. They are a healing force. They are incredibly loyal spirits who have a playful energy, but also are incredibly purposeful. Their existence has direction. They are nurturing and have a protective power, as well as having great strength. They are a force of creativity, right? You can heal with the dragon frequency through breath, imagining your dragon behind you whenever you need to access more courage, a greater strength, or empower your intentions. I hope that you resonated with all of these messages that I've channeled from the Draco constellation. If you want to find a way to connect to your starseed origins or want help on your path to discovering more of who you are and the potential for all that you can be, I would urge you to click the link in my description right now so that you can reserve your booking on healinglightandstardust.com. I cannot wait to see you next week again for a brand new video all about how to raise your consciousness and experience spiritual well-being. Thank you so much for joining me for this one. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out all of the links in the description while you're down there, and I will see you next time.